Hey guys, it's DP Carol. I want to talk to you today about why do I make these videos. I'm going to let you in on something. Those who know me really well know that I really do not like having to give notices of disapproval to checkride applicants. In fact, if I have to do it a lot because there's a major dysfunction in the flight training world, yeah, it's hard for me to do that. It is my responsibility to uphold the ACS standards because that's what keeps us safe in the skies. So I make these videos so that at least the people who are coming to me for checkride can be pre-educated so they can have success the first time on the checkride. Almost none of these items that I talk about are single item, hey, you're going to receive a notice of disapproval items. They're all education items that stack up to create the checkride day. So sometimes I see a dysfunctional flight training environment where an applicant is not adequately prepared and some of the responsibility falls on the applicant, some of it falls on the CFI. But the important thing for you to know about why I do these videos is to try to prevent any of that so that when you come to me, I can just say, congratulations, here's your certificate. If I could do that every day in my job, I would love to. If everybody would read the testing documents that the FAA has put out, the ACSs and the PTS, and if they would read the associated FAA documents with them and train accordingly, then there wouldn't be a need for an examiner because everybody would be flying well already and they'd be safe. But that's not the reality of the world we live in. People make mistakes. People don't know things. And so the FAA provides avenues for you to get your certificate, even if you've made a mistake, which as pilots, we all have. And many of us, myself included, have received notices of disapproval before. And what matters is what we learn from that. And do we allow it to make us a stronger pilot and person? I make these videos so that you can be strong and empowered to be a success on your check ride the first time through. But more importantly than that, of course, is so that you can be safe out there flying, have a strong foundation so that you and your passengers can be safe and those flying in the National Airspace System with you can be safe. When you come to a check ride with a DPE, it's not the DPE's opinion about what you should do that they are judging on. It's the ACS standards that the FAA, they have put out the standards for testing that DPEs have to uphold. So when you hear me talking about things on these videos, take note of when I say, this is my opinion, or there are several ways to do this, or this is the way it is, it's an FAA standard. We have the FAA standards, which are black and white, but there are many ways to get there. And that depends a lot on the type of training program you're in, your instructor's personality, your personality, etc. My videos are tough sometimes, especially when I see a correction needing to be happened that's showcasing a foundational or structural weakness within the flight training system. A part of a DPE's job, as directed by FAA guidance, is to provide feedback at the end of the day in private to each applicant and their CFI, should the CFI desire to be there, on strengths and weaknesses. And that's exactly what I do at the end of my check rides, including vast majority strengths. It's a part of my job to provide the feedback with the desired end result being an improvement in flight training and flight safety. Classically, my notice of disapproval rates are between 10 and 20% for private, instrument, commercial, seaplane rides, etc. I don't have a big enough sample size yet to tell you what the disapproval rates for me would be for upper level certificates such as CFI initial or CFII. But what I can tell you is the FAA does expect a higher standard of performance, knowledge, risk assessment skills from those applicants for good reason. So yes, the videos are pretty tough sometimes and they're not always easy to digest, but neither is flight training. The reason I do these videos is so I don't have to fail people. I'd much rather see education happen first. Ideally, this is going to happen via the applicant's own study of the ACSs and their instructor's guidance, not by watching random videos on the internet alone. So these videos of mine are not intended as a replacement source of instruction. Rather, on purpose, I don't spoon feed the material to you so that it drives you to the source documents, the FAA handbooks and the ACS, to do your own study, because that's what's really going to sink in. So applicants, do not at any cost just rely on, oh, my CFI says this, therefore that's what I'm doing. People make mistakes, or maybe they just don't care about the job they're doing. That can happen sometimes. So you must take responsibility for your own training. CFIs. There are many of you who are amazing instructors, and many of you are old instructors who we desperately need you. And I so appreciate you, but be careful not to rely on old knowledge. You have to remain current on FAA requirements so that you make sure that your applicants are properly prepared when there are changes in the ACS. Applicants, when you're getting ready for a practical test, be intimately familiar with each FAA task that you might be asked. There's knowledge, risk assessment, and skills sections to each task. Become familiar with all of them. Don't just skip right to the skills, plus minus 100 feet, that sort of a thing. Because if you study every line of that, then you are going to come out of that process knowing that you know, and why you know it, the items that the examiner is going to be asking you. And again, this is not just to pass the test, is so that you know that you can handle the situations that you get into as a pilot. Let me tell you, when I learned how to study using the ACS, which unfortunately was pretty late in my flight training life, it changed everything about my preparation for a check ride. And it gave me a newfound sense of peace and confidence. And even for those check rides where I felt so much stress that I literally had a fight, flight, or freeze response, that level of preparation and good skills and procedures carried me through that stress. And that's exactly what they're designed to do, either on a check ride or, more importantly, in real life. If I didn't want my applicants to win and be safe, I would never take the time to make these videos. These videos are for you. For those of you who watch them to become more educated, thank you for watching. Trust that my heart is for you. I am cheering for you, and I'm cheering for you, most importantly, to go forward in life and love your life as a pilot and have a long life as a pilot.